people say, what do you mean by Mercury retrograde? What do you mean by retrograde? I thought planets only went in one direction. How can it go backwards? It doesn't go backwards. Picture two cars on the highway. They're in side by side on the lanes. They're both going 50 miles an hour. If one speeds up to 60 miles an hour, the other car appears to be going backwards. They're both still traveling forward, but at a different rate of speed. That's how Mercury retrograde works with the planets. The Earth and Mercury are running, they're orbiting in tandem, but they're running at different speeds. They're still going in the same direction. But during the time that it appears that a planet goes retrograde, astrologers have observed the energy of the planet works differently. And I'm going to go on to explain how Mercury retrograde works differently, but I forgot to put this in, so I'm putting this in at the beginning after I shot the other stuff. So, there we go. I'll be talking about the shadow period. People talk about the Mercury shadow period. Only the shadow knows. Well, the shadow period is when Mercury hits the degree that it's going to return to before going back. So the shadow period started July 15th when Mercury was at 18 degrees Leo. That's where it's going to go back to. It's going forwards, going forwards, going forwards, and then it starts slowing down, and then on August 2nd, when the debt ceiling thing has to be signed or else nobody gets paid and everybody loses their mind, Mercury stops at 1 degree Virgo. Well, it's 1 degree and 12 minutes Virgo. He goes, oh, I'm home. Oh, Mercury loves being in Virgo. Mercury rules Virgo. We can be analytical. We can check our figures. We can we can review and analyze all this stuff. We can proofread and edit. And then it goes, yikes! And then it gets pulled back into Leo until the and it goes retrograde in Leo to go back to that 18 degrees Leo point, and that goes back to August 26th when it's back at the beginning at that shadow period. It's 18 degrees Leo. And during that time, it's like the concerns of Mercury is like, am I loved enough? Am I getting enough applause? Are my ideas entertaining enough? Oh, I want to find my inner child and spoil it rotten. You know, I want to fall in love. You know, it's like review all your old lovers. You know, say, oh, this one kissed better than that one, and this one had, you know, better massage. It's, oh, it's silly stuff. So I can say that. I'm a Leo. I know I'm silly, so it's okay. So then it's at that 18 degrees Leo, and it goes, oh, well, enough of this. And then it stations, and then it goes back, trudging along through Leo again, and to go to where that 1 degree, 12 minutes Virgo, that's September 9th. So from July 15th until September 9th, we are in that retrograde period. Now, what I do with any planet that's going retrograde is I look to see what house it's transiting in my chart. And for me, since my sun sign is Leo, my sun sign is at 24 degrees Leo, Mercury is going to be going over my sun to get to Virgo, back up over my sun, again, going back to the 18 degrees, and then going forward again. So 3 times Mercury is going to go by and go, hey, what are you thinking about? What are you thinking about? You know, and then since it's going through my 8th house, 8th house is the house of transformation. Transformation can be sex, birth, death, taxes, you know, fun things, corporate secrets, esoteric knowledge. I will prefer that at this point. And during that time, any planets that uh, that a retrograde planet is going to be hitting, bang, 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 like the planets in the houses are like bells, and the transiting planets have a hammer and goes bang, bang, bang. Any aspect to those planets are going to resonate, and it's going to affect the other. It's going to affect the connection between the planet that it's affecting in the transit. Like, it's going to affect my sun. What is my sun connected to? Well, my sun is conjunct Pluto, so I'm just going to get like really intense, and I'm going to get really obsessive, and I can feel it already. I'm getting really intense and obsessive about esoteric knowledge. Thank you very much. Ergo, I'm making this video. So, if you know your chart, and if you know where Leo and Virgo is in your chart, what houses they're in, what planets are there, what aspects of those planets are happening, then you can figure out how this retrograde Mercury is going to be ringing your bells. If you don't know, get in contact with me. I'll do your chart. I take PayPal. So, people say, oh no, Mercury retrograde, I'm afraid. Well, don't be. Yes, signing a contract or starting new businesses may need to be revisited. Buying an appliance, get that warranty, get that extra warranty, because you're going to be sending that puppy back, that wash machine or that laptop. You're going to be sending it back to the shop, because this is the time where those type of transactions, run into difficulty. Cars break down because it deals with travel. Planes are taken off the schedule because of some sort of mechanical problems. Better that than falling out of the sky and dying. Okay, so don't get like all flipped out because of these outer things, electronics getting goofy, computers malfunctioning. Back up your computer on a regular basis. Take the information that's in your cell phone and back it up to an external hard drive or to a thumb drive or something, so you have the information, and update it on a regular basis. These are the preventative measures to be able to get through a Mercury retrograde process. A lady friend called me today and she says, well, I may have to sign a contract during Mercury retrograde. Well, Mercury retrograde says slow down. That's why it delays. That's why your car broke down. That's why you missed the bus. That's why the plane got pulled out of the lineup. You're supposed to slow down. Be present when you're reading contracts, and see if you have an option to renegotiate some of this after the Mercury retrograde is over, or if you can't, ask questions. The wonderful thing about signing a contract during a Mercury retrograde is that you get more bang out of your question buck than at any other time, because to review, reevaluate, this is the time. This is the time to do it. People who do writing, if you're writing something long, you're writing a novel, or you're putting together a grant proposal, great time for proofreading. Great time for going back over that which you've started, and you revisit it, you reevaluate it, you review it. Great time for that. For artists who have what we call UFOs, unfinished objects. We have all sorts of projects that are unfinished. Go and finish them. And because all that little tedious stuff, stringing the beads together and putting on the clasp and doing that, there's a very sort of meditative quality, very quiet space you can get into in reviewing and refinishing these projects, reviewing some things that you've written before. If you're in the business world, Renegotiate. It's a good time to renegotiate contracts. Some people do refinance because they're revisiting an already existing contract. So refi, anything with re, except for refried beans. That's a whole different. That's a whole different story. Okay, outside communication, signing contracts, buying objects like washing machines or computers. These things have a tendency to goof up. Communication has a tendency to goof up. When you're communicating, be present. Don't be thinking about the past. Don't be thinking about the future. Be in the now. Listen carefully. Speak carefully. If somebody is speaking to you or communicating something to you, and if you're unclear, speak up and say, "Excuse me, I'm not exactly sure if I understand what you meant by that." And let them be clear. This is a good time for that. Now, even though outside communication gets goofed up during Mercury retrograde, like purchases and machinery, internal communication is enhanced. It's the most peculiar thing. That's why reflecting, taking time to review communications that we've made to other people, that other people have made to us, things that we've told ourselves, like, you know, in editing our writing, that there's a quiet time that during the Mercury retrograde that allows us to take stock of what we're doing. Western civilization and its in its form right now, where everybody's like push, 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 rush, 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 go forward, make the deadline. I gotta go here. I put it on the calendar. Texting people back. We don't take out time to synthesize all this input, and every delay that Mercury retrograde does, opportunity to reflect. Every time you've missed the bus, or you know, the plane's not going, the train is stopped, your car broke down, you've been given a golden opportunity to reflect on a better way of doing it. You know, it's like, maybe we should have changed the oil in the car more often. Maybe when we revisit this issue, you know, we'll have an alternate travel plan, or we'll give ourselves some more time to get from point A to point B, or the time that you feel is like, oh, I'm so disappointed. I had all these expectations. I was going to go. Chill out. Sorry for the little jump cut. About chilling out. There's a reason for this. Mercury retrograde is telling us to slow down, to reflect, to be patient. Paramahansa Yogananda of the Self-Realization Fellowship says, you attract what you fear. Other yogis and gurus have said, what you say, think, and do bears weight. It's true. Don't be afraid of the Mercury retrograde. Be calm, be patient, slow down, think outside of the box, reflect. That's what it's asking you to do, not to be afraid. Being afraid never helped anything anyway. So that's it. I think I can fit this in. Bye.